Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. This virtual event is brought to you by the Shine Awards, a national premier award ceremony that celebrates the positive accomplishments of young people between the ages of 13 and 24 all over the world. Nominations are open this month. So if you're interested in nominating yourself or someone you know between the ages of 13 and 24, visit theshineawards.org. Remember, we spell shine with a Y. If you can also take a moment to join me in thanking our sponsor, Highmark. Not only are they a sponsor of the Shine Awards, but they are a sponsor of our in-person and virtual programs as well. So let's begin. Allie Renee, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
This was rough. I mean, your schedule, you're so busy. So I'm so glad you took some time to share with us today. And another thing that drew me to you was your story which is crazy to me, that you grew up, you had little to no confidence in yourself. So tell us about that and then share what steps you took to gain the confidence you have now and why you felt like you had to do something.
Okay, well, starters, I grew up very tall and I was pretty overweight and tall. So that, of course, I got bullied. I got bullied like crazy, and I had huge hair. And I know all my fellow Black girls, we understand, like, as a young girl, I feel like most of us go through that stage where we hate our hair. And I definitely went through that stage, and I was just not confident at all. I didn't have friends. I wasn't able to speak. I couldn't speak up for myself. But my dream was always to be a model. Like, that was always my dream. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, if I can't even talk to people, I don't even feel good about myself, how am I going to be able to stand in front of a camera and pose and be confident and all these people watching me? But I knew that if I wanted to make that happen for myself, I had to slowly work on confidence and slowly work on not caring about other people's opinions. Because at the end of the day, everyone's going to have an opinion about you, whether you're a great person, a bad person. Everyone's going to have an opinion about you, whether it's good or bad. So once you learn to put that aside and just do what you want to do what you're passionate about, and take the baby steps. Like, for example, if I was in a store by myself, I'd be like, I need to compliment X amount of people today, just to slowly start speaking to people. Or I need to be the first person to volunteer when I'm in a presentation in class. Just taking those little steps really helps me start being able to have confidence and being able to speak up and stand in front of people and just be there for myself. So it's really about the baby steps. It wasn't a fast process. I would say it took a couple years and a lot of practice. But now I'm very, like, you can say what you want, you can think what you want, but it's not affecting me because I'm doing what I love. So,
you know what? I love that you said it's baby steps, because a lot of times people think that it's this overnight process where I'm not confident and now I decide I'm going to be confident and I'm magically that. Where you said you did baby steps, you spoke to somebody first or you raised your hand first. So that's very good to know. We always try to speed that process up.
Exactly. Yeah, it's definitely not a fast process. Like, you have to be patient.
So you said you always knew you wanted to be a model. After you did, your baby steps and gaining your confidence, what was the next step that you took to become a model? Like, did you audition? What was the next step after that?
My next steps were basically submitting to modeling agencies online. But it was rough for me because none of them ever answered. Probably for like 2.5 years, I was just getting rejected. Like, it would either be, oh, you're not what we're looking for, or they just won't answer. So that was definitely a step. I would watch YouTube videos and practice walking in my house. Like I would take my mom's heels and just walk. I would do it like probably almost every day, just learning to like walk in the heels, because I was determined. I was like, I'm gonna make this happen. They might reject me now, but it's gonna happen. So
I'm loving the story because again, you're showing that again, baby steps, sticking with your dream, even if it takes years. I think social media and media in general make people think that it's an overnight success.
Right.
And they don't show the work and how you really do have to have the confidence to believe in yourself that your dream's going to come true. So you waited, or you kept trying 2.5 years to be a model. So at any point, you feel like, I don't know, maybe I should stop, or no?
I definitely had moments of doubt where I was like, like, what if this doesn't work out? Like, I'm putting my all into something that, there's no guarantee that it's going to work out for me. And there's so much competition, and like my family, they're all like, go to school, get a job,
right,
get married, have kids. Like that's a normal person's life. And it's like, of course, me saying I want to be a model is scary to your parents, because like, and when I was younger, like one of my parents, they just completely they were not with it. They were like, but I just had to stick with what I was passionate about, not what they were passionate about. So,
right. I understand. Yeah. I understand. So what was it about the industry that attracted you to it?
I feel like just being able to be you and like portray, it's so creative. Like people don't realize like it's not just standing in front of the camera. Like in some cases you're just modeling the clothes, but in other cases they let you be you, and they just say do what you want, and you flow, and you can show all your personality, and it's really fun. I have a pretty big personality, and I love to be able to show it and be open about it. So I feel like that's what I love about it, and just being able to see yourself in stores. And my dream was always like when I would be in Target with my mom, like just seeing like people's faces, like I was like, I want to be that face. It's a surreal feeling. So that's what I was really passionate about.
So, on your social media, and the person's on here today, Alex Matthews was the one that had introduced us. And one of the things that he brought to my attention was that you use your social media platform to share inspirational messages to all ages. Tell us why that's important to you to do.
Yes. I really love to inspire people. I feel like that feeling you can't buy. Like when someone like gets up and goes forth with what they want to do in life because of something you said, or you gave them the motivation, like that's so important to me, because so many people have so much potential, but simply because they don't believe in themselves, or someone doesn't believe in them, or they're scared about other people's opinions, they won't do it. And then they settle for this life that they don't love. They're doing something every day that they don't love. Like, this is your life. Like, you need to do what you want to do and have fun with it. And so many people they're in their own way. And I hate seeing that, because it's like you can do so much with your life if you just get out of your own way, get out of your shell, and just go for it, do it. Like, you really don't have much to lose, especially as a young person. Like, you try it, put your all in it. The worst that can happen is you fail. But if you're putting your all in, you're 120% in every day, like you can do some pretty cool things.
Yes,
So,
I agree. Yeah, I agree that with at any age, if there's something you want to do, try it.
exactly. There's
could work, it may not work. Right.
Right. Exactly.
So are you a full-time model?
Yes.
Okay, so what's your typical schedule?
So on days I'm not on a job, it's I would explain modeling as you're either in a modeling job on a gig, or you're taking care of yourself to an extreme level. As in, I can do up to 3 to 4 workouts a day with Pilates, or I do boxing with my trainer. I do a lot of cryotherapy. I take really good care of my skin. I just enrolled in acting, coaching, and vocal lessons. So that's part of my days now, and also doing content on social media. So pretty much if I'm not on a gig, I'm working out and doing social media stuff, working on my acting. So
Okay.
always something going on.
All right. And so in terms of, you talked about you spend a lot of time investing in yourself, your skin and your workouts. In terms of the industry, and not even the industry, but society in general, do you think a lot of pressure is put on specifically young women on how they look?
I definitely feel there's a lot of pressure. It's getting better as time goes on. The industry is getting a lot better. Like for instance, I've always had an issue with my skin. I have very acne prone skin, and it has its highs and lows throughout the year. But it's natural. We get acne, we go through puberty. So that will definitely take me back in my jobs and stuff, because your skin is messed up. It's hard to like edit that out. So that can be a lot of pressure on me, because it's tough to control it. Like,
right.
It's just my hormones. I don't know. Like, as people who have acne, like finding the root is a struggle. So, I have to spend so much money and time on facials and getting the right products and having the dermatologist visits. So that can be a lot of pressure on me. And of course, they want you to stay fit and stay healthy, but I feel like there are models who do it in a healthy way. And I feel like people who look up to models, they shouldn't be like, oh, I need to look like that, or like think that they're only going to be successful if they're super skinny, because it's not like that anymore. Like there's certain markets that want you thinner, but you can make it without being unhealthy. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about finding a balance and just making sure you're healthy, you're at your best. But it can definitely be easy to get into an unhealthy mindset when you're constantly being in front of a camera, and you always have to look good, look your best. So that can create some pressure, but it's part of the job.
So is the life of a model as glamorous as it looks like on television and in social media?
I feel like that depends on the model. I love everything about modeling. I love the process. I love keeping up with myself. I love the workouts. I love being in front of the camera. Like, I just love everything about it. Like, I wouldn't trade it for anything. So I would agree. I think it's great. It's definitely a lot of hard work. I feel like that would be a better answer for it. It's not as easy as a lot of people will come and say like, oh, you look pretty, you stand in front of a camera, you get paid. It's not that at all. Like, models work extremely hard, especially when you're trying to gain exposure. It's pretty hard to get exposure out here, because there's so many models, there's so much competition. So you need to stand out. You have to have something unique about you now. You can't just be a pretty face. So trying to get that exposure and prove yourself can be very difficult, and staying up with yourself, and like I said about the skin and just keeping up with everything, that can be really tough. So yeah, it's a job.
You have a question that came through. In modeling or acting, there are always negative vibes in people. How do you avoid those things, and how do you keep the value of being true to yourself?
That's a really good question. So definitely you will come across some bad people, or people with ill intentions with you. And that's definitely something that I have to work on a lot, is speaking up for myself. Like I said, I used to not even speak at all. Like, I'm still not perfect with standing up for myself, but you do have to know when there's a fine line when, someone is trying to take advantage of you, or, like, oh, bribing you with things that shouldn't be doing for a job. Like, oh, if you do this, or let's not tell your agents this. It happens. It happens a lot. Not a lot of people talk about it, but it definitely happens. So you have to, I typically, if I'm uncomfortable in a situation, I excuse myself and I call my agents. That's pretty much what I'll go to right away. But as far as staying true to myself, it's really easy to get influenced by people and feel like you have to act a certain way or look a certain way to be liked or to get certain jobs. But I want to be known for me. I want to be loved for me. And you have to remember that, because you can't fake yourself your whole life. So it's like, if people don't love the real you, then they don't need to be in your life.
And speaking of shady people, is it true that agencies, if they want to sign you, they will come to you and you don't pay? Like, there's a lot of agencies out here that they're like, we can make you a model, but you have to pay for the photos and all this stuff. Those aren't real, correct?
No. If an agency wants you, you don't pay a dime. So that is something I remember when I was trying to model. I got a bunch of those little emails and I would get like so excited, like, oh, it's only this much, mom. Like, but no, because you have to think about it. When you're a model and you have an agent, they're basically working for you. You're making them money. So they're not going to make you pay them, because they're kind of working for you in a sense. So if they ever ask you for money, that's automatically a no. But I will say, when you are with the agency, there's something called test shoots that you will have to pay out of pocket for, or they will advance it for you. Most agencies will advance it for you. Those are just for your portfolio. But to get signed, they will never ask you for money.
Okay. So if you didn't work out, if things didn't work out for you to be a model, what would you be doing?
Good question. I remember when I was getting rejected a lot, I told myself I wanted to be a radiologist, but I feel like that's not something I would love. It was a good job. It would make me good money. It would get me through, but acting, modeling, inspiring. I love doing speaking engagements. Like, if modeling didn't work out, I would probably go down the acting route and speaking engagements route. But I'm trying to puzzle all those together. So,
well, the modeling worked out for you and you're working on some other things to enhance that. So that's good. You have another question from the audience. When you were talking about things are getting better, were you talking about things are getting better in the modeling industry in terms of the way a model should look? Or were you talking about society is creating space for a wider range of people to be in modeling or television?
Yeah, so as in things are getting better, I mean, so the industry used to be very strict with numbers and measurements and height. But now, there's a lot of models who are 5'4", 5'3", 5'6", all different sizes. There's agencies that just have such a wide range. So it's getting much more lenient with that. Like I said, you don't have to be stick thin anymore. And that's a great thing. So pretty much it's more open to people to become a model. Like more people can become a model. And it's really great to see because you see more diversity and you see real looking people. Like you can't look up to these people who are not really realistic, and that's when the kids start comparing themselves to them, thinking they're not good enough. They're not beautiful if they don't look like that. But now we can see real people and think we're beautiful because we look like them.
Right.
So yeah, it is getting better.
So your model, you said you always wanted to be a model. Is that something that you have to be trained to do? Like, are there things that you have to be taught? You mentioned it's more than just standing in front of a camera and taking a picture. Are there classes you had to take to walk a certain way or look at the camera a certain way? Or are those things that you just kind of watch others and adapt? So is there training involved in being a model?
So I would say it's partly, training, learning, and big part is just experiencing it and practicing it. Practice. Like I would always watch YouTube videos, and I actually did a training. It was like a 6-month thing, and we would learn something different each month, whether it was walking or just etiquette or learning how to pose in photos. And even watching all that and seeing all that and watching America's Next Top Model, when I still got in front of the camera, it still wasn't just there. Like it's not something you can learn right away. But over time, getting comfortable in front of the camera is probably the number one thing. Like if someone's wanting to be a model, I say like get comfortable in front of the camera. Because a lot of people, once you put a camera in front of them, they kind of like freeze. But you have to, it's not even there. And learning how to flow in your poses. Posing isn't necessarily like, just pose. Like it's more so like a flow, and they just take the pictures in between. So that's something that I had a hard time with my movement, just making it flowy and moving all the time. Like it might look awkward, like when you watch a real model posing, like it looks a little odd. It looks like a dance almost. So once you learn to get comfortable and just start moving and learning the flow, that's something I had to learn with practice.
Is it hard navigating the modeling industry as a Black model?
I'd say the hardest part being a Black model in the industry is a lot of the stylists can't do my hair. And I've heard a lot of stories with makeup artists not being able to do Black model skin, just not having the right skin, the tones, they don't have the right tones. That's been my biggest issue I've faced, is just my hair. I feel like the agencies are getting more diverse with more Black models, which is great to see. But yeah, I feel like the biggest issue is hair stylists just not being educated on our hair.
So, we're still in the pandemic, but we're not. How did the pandemic affect your career?
It definitely slowed it down, but with my mindset, I took that as an opportunity to get better in my movement, get better and take the time with my hair and my skin and everything, just get better, and watching YouTube videos and doing more photo shoots for my portfolio. I kind of took that time as like, okay, this is, oh, can you see me? Sorry. I took that time as like a break, but okay, like I'm not booking jobs right now, but I'm going to make sure that I'm elevating myself. So when COVID does pass, I'm going to be ready to go. Because a lot of people, when COVID hit, they slowed down, they slacked off, and whatever they were working on, they kind of gave up on. So you just have to take that time, like, okay, let me just breathe, and let me get better and elevate myself. And it worked out for me. So it was a good time.
Okay. And you got another question from the audience. Are there any jobs that you refuse to do?
I won't do nude.
Okay.
I definitely want to protect my image. I feel like as a model, sometimes you will get so desperate for jobs that you will do things out of your comfort zone. And I totally feel like going back to the one question is staying true with yourself. Like, even if you're dead broke, don't do something you're uncomfortable with for the job. Or if it's a huge brand, like, other opportunities will come up. So
now, you don't have to share your secrets, but the modeling industry is very competitive. What are some things that you do to continuously get jobs?
Something I do is just make sure I'm very hands-on with my agents. Like, I'm constantly emailing them like, hey, what can I do to get better? What do you think will improve my chances of booking more jobs? Do you have any advice on what you want me to change, or how should I take my social media? Like, just being very hands-on and communicative with your agents, and staying up with yourself is huge. Also, social media it's such a great thing. Like, I know social media can be a bad thing, but when you are trying to gain exposure, and especially in the entertainment industry, social media is your best friend. So I take social media pretty seriously. So that's definitely helped me book a lot of jobs. And probably the biggest thing is having good energy on set. If you are on set, you book a job, being happy, talking to everybody, get everybody's name, learn a little something about them, because everybody talks. And you don't want to have, if the makeup artist isn't really like feeling you, and they tell a different person, they tell a different client, like, you just have to be bubbly and just have great positive energy, and just be pleasant to work with. I feel like that's probably the biggest thing. That's bigger than how you look, who you are. If you have a good energy on set, people are going to want to work with you more. So
I'm actually glad you said that, because I was hoping your answer was, one of your answers would be to be nice.
Yes.
I think we're losing that in all industries, whether you're a model, a nurse, whatever, the importance of being nice. So it doesn't really matter. I mean, we're glad that you're skilled. We're glad that you're smart and beautiful, but when you're mean, doesn't, no one really wants to work with you. You have another question and from the audience, and what has been your favorite project so far that you've worked on?
I did a campaign shoot with Aerie for a holiday. Campaign shoots are really fun because you get to travel, and they basically take pictures of you just having fun. Like, for instance, they're like, oh, go make some s'mores. And we're just eating, making s'mores. They were taking photos, videos. They did like little dancing videos. We were on the beach. We were doing cartwheels in the sand. Like, it was like a 4-day thing. It was so fun. Like, that's like the fun part with modeling. Like, sometimes it's just like, go have fun, and we're just gonna take pictures. And it's a great time, and you meet so many great people, and you make great friends. So yeah, that was probably my favorite project so far.
Okay. And then what would you recommend for someone starting out? Do you think they should take free work for exposure?
Definitely in the beginning, be open to free work, because like I said, getting comfortable in front of the camera is the biggest thing. There is a point where you have to start rejecting free work, but in the beginning, like, you definitely have to be okay with shooting for free and doing test shoots or shoots for trade with a photographer for your portfolio, because at least, even if the photos don't come out great, at the end of the day, you're getting practice with your movement, you're getting practice in front of the camera. So that's really important as a beginner model. So yes, I definitely think you should be open to that.
Okay. And then what's better? Is it better to be signed with an agency, or is it better to be a freelance model?
I personally think having an agency will be better for you, but it has to be an agency for you. So there's been times where I was with agencies that weren't for me, and I was with them and I had to leave them, switch them, which is no hard feelings. It's just sometimes an agency they have to be excited about you. You know, they have to want you and they have to want to push you, because some people are signed with agencies and they're not making any money, not getting any jobs. And some people are freelance and getting all these jobs. So if you're finding an agency that's for you, that's going to shoot you up. And one thing about agencies, you don't always have to shoot for the biggest agencies. Like when you search up biggest agency in LA, best agency, you don't always want those bigger ones. Sometimes you want the smaller ones, because the people who aren't in the bigger ones, you kind of get lost in the mix. But when you're with a smaller one, the agents can have more time to put attention on you and you can book more jobs. So don't even think about how big the agency is or little. Like, an agency is an agency, and if they want you and they're excited about you, they're gonna push you. But with freelance, I think it's definitely gonna be harder, but if you have the determination and you push yourself enough, I think you can be successful as a freelance model as well.
Okay. And one thing I want to circle back to when I was asking you how, I think the question was how you navigated through COVID. One of the things you said that I appreciated was that you were still always asking for feedback from your agencies. From your agents, what can I do better? So receiving constructive criticism, you seek to improve your craft.
Yes. Now that's super important. I meant to bring up, you need to have thick skin and you need to be able to take critique. Like, you have to be able to take it and make a plan and take action, because, it's like I said, there's a lot of competition and there's going to be a lot of stuff to work on when you're developing as a model, and you have to have thick skin and not take things personally. And also, with not taking things personally, you're going to get rejected throughout your entire career. You're going to go to castings and not get the castings. You're going to not get the job. Even to this day, there's so many jobs that don't go through for me. But it's like, you just have to have thick skin and not take it personal, because sometimes it's not about you. It's just, maybe you're not the look they're looking for. They're looking for a girl that has blue eyes and you have brown eyes, or they want someone with different hair than you. So it's not always about you as a model, and you have to really mentally know that and not take things personally.
So what are the steps? Like, if someone is interested in being a model, what are the steps that someone should take if they want to be a model? What should they start doing now?
So I would advise start practicing your movement, like go in the mirror and do little poses, find your angles that you like. And what you need is digitals. So digitals are just a plain photo. You're all natural, no makeup, no fake hair, no fake nails, just all natural, just you. They just want to see the real you. And for women, they prefer a black bikini and heels. And for men, I think it's a black shirt and just jeans, or no shirt and jeans. And you just take photos on your iPhone. You don't need anything professional. You don't need to put any money into it. To start, you do not need to put any money into it. Just the iPhone is perfect. Go against a plain wall, take natural photos, your front, your side, your back. And that's when you can submit to online agencies. Also, there's something called open castings. So some agencies will have an open call, and you can go in and they will basically look at you, take your digitals there, and they might sign you from there. That's how I got signed from an open call. I just went in, they took my photo, and they signed me. So that's definitely the steps you need to take. And just in the meantime, if you get rejected, just go to the next agency. There's so many agencies. Like, the biggest thing is don't stop with rejection. Don't stop, because it's you're one agency closer if you keep going. So.
And I know we're talking about modeling, but a lot of the tips and advice that you're sharing, it matches just through life. Like, no matter what industry or field you're going into, practice, follow up, be nice, take rejection well, take constructive criticism well,
Right.
take care of yourself, your health.
Exactly. Yeah, just everything, girl.
Right. And I love also that you admitted that you have problem skin. I think we think that everyone who's a model has this flawless skin, and that's what they promote. Use this product and your face will be flawless. But as you said, like, you're human.
Mm-hmm.
You have flaws too. I mean, but your occupation just happens to be you're a model.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's totally normal. And that's the thing, like, people get scared, like, oh, I can't model because I have this, or I have braces, or my tooth is messed up. Like, it's normal. And it's sad modeling doesn't show that. Like, there's been tons of times I did photo shoots, my skin looked horrible, and they edited it out. But people would never know. But I had all these bumps on my face, but they edit everything. That's the thing. Like, the pictures you guys see are all edited. So it's not real. But yeah.
I'm sure they don't have to do a lot of editing for you.
Girl.
You're very pretty. So you have another question from the audience, and it is, what famous person are you looking forward to working with?
I would love to meet Zendaya. Zendaya and Margot Robbie are like
those are good.
My motives. I love them. They're so inspiring. And Zendaya, she's kind of like one of those people that like do it all. Like, she can dance, she can act, she can model, she can sing. Like, that's kind of what I want to be. I want to be like a do it all type person, So I would definitely love to work with her one day.
Awesome. All right. Well, our time is about up. Is there any closing remarks that you would like to share?
I just want to say, like, just go for it, like, kind of just this whole conversation. Like, if you have something in mind that you keep putting off, you keep thinking about it, you keep talking about it, but you're not doing it, like, time doesn't stop. And, time is money. Time is not going to wait for you. No one's going to wait for you. No one's going to make your dreams come true. So it's like, that's something I had to learn. You can't put your dreams in the responsibility of other people or things or materialistic things. Like, you have to make stuff happen for yourself. And it's not going to be easy. People want to go the easy route, but that's never going to work out. Like, you have to do the work. You have to put it in. You have to do it every single day. Be consistent with it. If you really want something to happen in your life, you have to be dedicated and just block out all the opinions, block out all the other people, because people are going to tell you some bad things. They are not going to believe in you. They're going to tell you, oh, you know how many times I heard in high school, I would tell people, like, you're going to see me in magazines one day. And people would be like, man, you need to think realistic. Man, that's a 1 in a million chance. You know how hard it is to get that famous. Like, people are going to tell you that left and right. People are going to tell you to think realistic, but you need to say, it is realistic. I'm going to make it happen. You're going to see. So you just have to be able to stand up for yourself and be there for yourself. Don't be in your own way. A lot of people are in their own way. So I hope that can be something you apply to your life every day. I'm not going to be in my own way today. I'm going to go for it, do what I need to do to get closer to my goal, get better every single day, even if it's a little bit.
I love it. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And where can people follow you on social media?
I have Instagram and TikTok under ali.renee1 and a YouTube, same name.
All right, Ali Renee, thank you so much for joining us. And everyone, thank you for tuning in to the Shine Awards. This is our I Shine Online. And this month we are featuring national model Ali Renee. Again, we encourage you to nominate yourself or someone you know between the ages of 13 and 24 for the Shine Awards. We're gearing up for the 14th annual Shine Awards, and nominations are open. Ali Renee, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Bye. Bye. Very tall, and I was pretty very tall, and I was pretty